The Arcane Trickster is not a wizard, it's a magician, but it can use its sleight of hand and its master of illusions. Can make you think it's every bit as powerful as one. And with this build, I'm going to show you how. Even on auto mode, to me, the race is completely flavor. So go ahead and pick whatever you like. It doesn't even matter. I would start with these stats because you'll be one away from getting your dex to 18 and one away to getting your intelligence to 16. And that's a good way to go. Me personally, I'll put your proficiencies in acrobatics or persuasion, or if you didn't go the way of urchin in your backstory, you can go sleight of hand here with your skill proficiencies. But I would definitely go with sleight of hand as one of your expertise, and stealth if you're going that way, or persuasion if you're the party face of your party. As level 2, you are just leveling up regularly as a rogue, so you get cunning, dash, and ass. And this is when you finally become an arcane trickster. Now, you get this cool thing called Mage Hand Legerdemain, which allows you to put your mage hand out every short rest, and it starts off invisible, which is pretty awesome. So I'll go Booming Blade because it's great, super magical, and surprisingly enough, now that you got that kind of out of the way, I would go a range option just if you want to instead of a bow, because sometimes piercing is sometimes heavily resistant or straight up immune. So maybe Firebolt, maybe Ray of Frost if you want to remove some of the enemy's movement. If you want to play more defensive, maybe even a Blade Ward if you're looking to get into melee range and need an extra turn. As for spells, I would go Tasha's Hideous Laughter because it's a great CC control spell. Disguise spell if you kind of want to role play as but in this case I'll go with Color Spray because it gives you an awesome blind. And as your expanded spell list, I will go with Shield. As for rogue level 4, we're going to go straight into maybe Charm Person. This doesn't really matter. We'll out the blind that we just got from the previous level. And if you don't have Long Strider, I would take that. I wouldn't take Magic Missile or Chromatic Orb because you won't be using your spell slots for any offensive spells with this build. So I would go with something maybe like Find Familiar if you want something else to set up your sneak attacks. Something with more utility like Enhanced Leap, Long Strider, or Featherfall. Especially ritual spells that you can use outside of combat without expending a spell slot. You can take that wizard roll right out of Gale's hands into yours. In this case, I'll be going Long Strider because, just to have that in your party. Now, I will go ability improvement and go dexterity into intelligence and hit you up with that rogue level 5. Now you get Uncanny Dodge, which makes you really tanky for like that first instance of damage that you take, and you'll take half damage. Thanks to your quick reflexes, making rogue especially tanky. Now, I would keep taking advantage of this out option because that's how you get into your extended spell list. Go ahead and out. And for this, I would probably go False Life if you want some extra survivability, or Grease if you want to set up the battlefield for maybe a Fire Mage that you have, or maybe a you just like putting grease down to CC your enemies. At rogue level 6, we're really smoothing along. We get more skill expertise, which is awesome. I will go with acrobatics because I don't know about you guys, I don't like to be shoved. And if you're the party face or didn't take any of these before, I would take persuasion, intimidation, or anything like that. I would take advantage of the out option again if you want to, but by now you should be able to have all the spells you want in that slot. You won't get any new ones. So at level 7 we get Evasion, which allows you to take half damage from a spell, and if you succeed a dex saving throw, you take no damage from like a fireball or something. So pretty darn cool. Now for this, like I said, we won't be using our spell slots for anything offensively with the build, so we're gonna be looking around for anything that's defensively and lasts a long time, maybe like a blur. Now for our extended spell list, invisibility is an option, but I think you're going to have a lot of options, a lot of opportunities for visibility. Shadow Blade if you want to deal some psychic damage and take advantage of the orb that you give in the Mind Flare colony that you deal double psychic damage with. For me, how my current party is set up, like I said, doesn't really matter too much because we gonna want our shield spell to whatever you want to fill in. Maybe it might come in handy. So your next ability improvement, all I would go is I will go intelligence at this point, or dexterity, or max out your dexterity. To me, I think it's more important that you get your dexterity max because that is like the bread and butter of being a rogue. Now at this level you get magical ambush, which while you're hidden you get disadvantage on saving throws against your spells. It really helps out against like whole persons a lot. I don't see myself doing this a lot in my current co-op playthrough because there's just not that many opportunities. But if you can set it up, it's actually a very good option to really CC your opponents. So like I said, not really too interested in the spells or anything like that. We hit level 10 and awesome for rogue, you get another feat and a new cantrip. The cantrips are pretty interesting. At this point, you can have like 2 elemental stuff. You can keep shooting these little spell things off, and there's a lot of things that scale off of cantrips, or you shooting a spell out or a projectile. So a lot of items. Hold person. Yeah, you can put a hold person there if you want. I will go one more into ability improvement. Now, if you have certain items, I would flip this. Maybe like Will's Rapier that goes off your spellcasting modifier. You can make this 20 intelligence. Remember, you get one more ASI at 12. So you're going to have 20 intelligence, 20 dex. You're going to be like this super agile magician, which what we want. So after you got your character all leveled up, you're going to want to use scrolls as your attack spells. Code of Cold, Magic Missile, anything you can get your hands on. Scroll of Monsters. For your gear, anything that gives you spell save DC will help you. It really, you kind of want the weapon to double as damage as well. You don't want to use a staff because what the point of having sneak attack if you can't use it, right? And or booming blade. So Infernal Rapier works great for me if you want to use that. I personally got the Amulet of Misty Step, and I get as much AC gear that I can on this character because come on. And you gotta look like a rogue. You got leather armor. I definitely like that sort of stuff. The spider silk armor is great for rogues. It's light armor. You don't have to take moderately armored. Light armor really gets close to medium armor. If the +2 limiter to medium armor is there, it doesn't get fairly close. Especially if your dex is super high. Armor does not have an AC limit, so your dex, you're rocking like a +5 modifier right there. So you can see my AC. So like the light armor base is 14, pretty low, right? But you get +5 from dexterity. You can rock a shield if you want to go with moderately armored as your last perk. Oh, and instead of going with 20 dex, but I'll always take the ASI to get ability score improvement to get the extra point. You kind of want to be great at both because you want your spells to hit. You want the high spell save DC. So you want to get stuff like the Fistbreaker Helm from Act 2. You want to get stuff, just anything that gives you. Right now, I'm kind of rocking a variant that's not super optimized. I'm just doing it because I want to look cool. And really, it works just fine. So don't worry about that. The gear does not matter ultimately. I will just use every magical thing you can get your hands on that lets you shoot projectiles and use your ability modifier like Scorching Ray Shot. Gives the near misser something to use. Anything that just gives you a free spell to shoot out. Melf's Acid Arrow, anything. Just a bunch of fun magical items you can use as someone who doesn't want to use their spell slots at all. You just want to use scrolls, use magic arrows, and really hammer that home to opponents because you are a freaking unit on the battlefield. You are fast and you are shooting magic like no other. You can hide. You can put darkness down at any time. You can see in the dark if you get the ring. Like, you are so item dependent where this was gonna go. The cool thing about this build, you don't really have to rely on the fact that you are a rogue to still do massive damage in the fight. Just make sure you have a sneak attack going, and all that have to do is for you to have someone there next to you, have the opponent threatened. And this little mage hand literally does not, he does not care about the rules of the game at all. He's invisible. So all you have to do is take this little dude, go up to somebody like this, and you can do this while the turn order is going on. Put him right next to somebody, you move up, and you're going in and you're about to just wreck this dude with maybe a booming blade. And make sure your so make sure you have your sneak attack set as a reaction so you can booming blade into a sneak attack. Yeah, you're a wizard, but you're a rogue too. You just don't have the spell slots at all. You just gotta rely on scrolls, and that's the good part. You can just steal them. That's the great part about the Arcane Trickster. You are not powerful, but you can steal the power. This was the Arcane Magician build. I hope you had a great time watching it. I had a great time playing it and making this video. So, y'all have a great day.